Hey everybody, it's Randall. It's gonna be a special video, obviously. Let's see, I was asleep. Got a notification from my father that a plane had hit one of the Twin Towers. I groggily dragged myself out of bed. It was actually a scheduled day off from the job I had at Target at the time. Dragged myself up and turned on the TV, and I'm watching the news. Then the second plane hits. And it's all so surreal. Watching these two grand, gleaming buildings aflame. Two planes had struck them. And you just watch the proverbial deer in headlights. I can recall almost every sense, smell of that day. Previous night I was watching Raw. I couldn't get to bed. It's like, I'm going to pop in a movie. Movie I popped in was Critical Condition, starring Richard Pryor. The late, great Richard Pryor. And quite eerily, the movie takes place in New York City. In fact, there's actually a shot of the World Trade Center in the movie. All that day I spent watching the news. I was glued to it. I couldn't turn my eyes away. That's established as terrorism. For the first time since World War II, America had been attacked by terrorists on its own soil. Hours roll by, watching the news, hearing the horrific stories of people trying to find loved ones. Watch the towers fall. Watch them fall. Eyes still glued to the TV. Not really absorbing the emotion. Just a spectator watching this unfold on live television. Towers come down, and I'm essentially watching people die on live TV. "10:38 that night. 10:38 that night is a significant time. Because it was at that time I realized that all I'd done that day was watch TV. I got dressed, yeah, but I did not eat. I didn't do anything really. And it took until 10:38 for me to realize I didn't eat today. No caffeine, no nothing. Go to the kitchen, make myself a sandwich. Grab a soda. Go back to watching TV. I mean, this is before social media really was a thing. I mean, I don't even think MySpace was really around. I think we were all still doing chat rooms at the time. The next day, September 12th, sort of unification. Country after country is pledging aid. I seem to recall even Cuba, who we'd had an embargo against, we'd had chilly relations with. Cuba said, "America, what do you need? How can we help?" Even countries that were adversarial to offered help. Political lines, everything was put aside for a day. 9/12. We don't talk about that day too much. We don't talk about how that was the one day where, born out of this tragedy, we were all truly unified. 9/12. Today's anniversary of 9/11. 18 years. Anybody born that day can now register to vote. Go to college. Kind of feels surreal, doesn't it? Knowing that people who weren't born that day, people who were in diapers, little toddlers, are now college age. You think of this year's incoming freshmen, they were born that year. You think of everybody that's in high school. They've never known a world with the World Trade Center. They've never known a world without terror alerts, level orange, level red, whatever. They've never known a world where we weren't afraid of our own shadow. Where something went wrong, our first instinct wasn't terror attack. They've never known that life. Whole generation. We eventually got Bin Laden. And no matter what, it seems sort of empty. I mean, it was great that we captured him. It was great that he was no longer a menace on this earth. But those families, still an empty chair at the dinner table. There still was a loved one that wasn't coming home. The Trade Center was still gone. Lives were forever changed. Yeah, Bin Laden was no longer walking the earth, but it didn't erase the tragedy of that day. 9/11. As a 43-year-old man, it's kind of hard for me to remember what life was like before 9/11, what it was like on 9/10. I can talk about it. I can give you an idea. But the feelings, the smells, the sense of that era, it's just kind of hard to remember what it was like. Remember what it was like not to be in an endless war. Remember what it was like before 9/11. $18 years. 18 years, and in some part it still feels like yesterday. $18 years. Hopefully someday this will all be over. And we can go back to that normality before 9/11. Have a good day and a better tomorrow.